Another beautiful day here, and this morning I did some deck washing. Our back deck was a muddy mess after all the winter stuff and projects we were doing, so I got that cleaned up first thing this morning. Now I'm out in the garden and everything looks a little bit parched, so I'm gonna get some water to all these plants. All our corn is coming up good, so I'm really happy about that. The beans are coming up. A little worried about the red potatoes that I planted because I don't see any of them coming up yet. So, I don't know. Hopefully they do. All the king harries came up. I don't have any way to get a hose all the way down to the far side of the garden. So, I've just been carrying water down there in the wheelbarrow, which is working just fine. And then I'm going to do some mulching with all this hay. I'm just hoping that, we have at least a half decent year. I am worried about this soil, or clay. Let's just call it clay. I'm definitely worried about the clay. So I don't know how everything is going to do. We're just going to go with it at this point and see what happens. I would like to see stuff growing a little faster. Kind of concerned about that, but it is what it is at this point. Garden's planted. I'm going to get these guys watered. Everything is watered, and that actually took longer than I expected it to. I tried to water a lot of the corn. It was really long, not really long, but we have several rows. Now I'm going to get to work on this mulching. These are the grapes that we planted, and there's only 2 of them. We actually had more than this, but for some reason they didn't survive the winter. If you've seen in a previous episode, we showed how that we couldn't get these planted before winter came, so we just buried these in the ground in their pots, which, should work, but for some reason the other ones just didn't survive. We're definitely going to be getting more because we're going to fill this section of the fence here with grapes. So I'm almost done with the mulch for mulching everything that I can. It's tall enough. Like I said, I'd really like to see these plants making more progress and getting more worried about this clay, but it is what it is this year. I guess it was about 12 or 13 years ago. We actually had like a pretty large garden. Nothing like this size, but it was a decent sized garden. And it was just like everything we planted did so well and grew so well. It was pretty amazing, actually. And we preserved a lot of stuff and all that. And it was really kind of like the first time that we had this idea of like, trying to be kind of more self-reliant and, take care of ourselves more. And then, as time goes on, you drift away from that, and we got away from, being in that mindset. And It's funny because it was like back then everything just grew on its own pretty much, and it was just easy. And I guess we had a lot better soil, and that was not on this property. That was a different property. Of course, this is going to be a huge job. I mean, it's going to be probably 4 times what we did that year that we had that really large garden. It's pretty awesome, but at the same time, it's a little bit terrifying just to think about all the work involved with harvesting and processing and preserving and storing a year's worth of food. Yeah. I think one of the things that we're going to end up having to do is learning how to do more succession planting, and that way we're not bringing in everything all at once. And I think it's going to help a lot. All right, I gotta get back to work. I need to finish this up, and then I'm going to call it a day. We're just hanging our strands of barbed wire today. We already got started, and we did one right on the top of the fence and then one at the very top. The idea is to keep the deer out, and well, the idea is to deter the deer from even wanting to get in here to begin with. And then of course anything that wants to climb up the fence, the barbed wire should deter raccoons and things like that as well. So, and we're gonna go ahead and finish this today and then add a 3rd strand in between the 2.
This is probably overkill at this point, but we got this gap, like we put a wire all up here for trying to deter deer from jumping over, which, as we say before, it's 6 foot high, so a deer can jump over that. Yeah, we know that, but they don't tend to unless they're starving, which while we have a garden and there's plenty of food out here in the wild, so they're definitely not starving. They have a buffet of food out here.
Yeah.
This time of year. When they really get hungry and start going to extremes for food, it's more like winter, and we definitely don't have a garden in here in the winter.
There's going to be something else that happens with this dirt, because things are definitely growing a lot slower than I would like to see, and I'm a little concerned about it. It's going to be what's going to be, though, like I've said. So we'll see what we get this year. We did the best we could with what we had, and we'll learn from this year's garden. So, project done. You gonna be good? Are you gonna pick on them? Soon? Here they come. You gonna be nice to the ladies?
It's just those 2, isn't it?
No, it's him and the runt were really going at it.
See, if they got, like this one's got his back to it, they ain't worry about it.
It's like, yeah.
It's if they stand up to him.
Or they start flapping around.
Sure.
Today we're just doing a little bit of homestead maintenance. We have a pretty long driveway. It comes up literally through the woods. And so one of the things that we have to do every spring/summer is to basically reopen the driveway back up, because everything wants to grow in over the driveway, especially autumn olive, Glenn's most favorite tree bush thing in the world.